all the helicopters and stuff, they will all fly over our house. And another reason is we live very close to a big street from the airport. And we think that lots of these caravans and, all the police and stuff, they will drive here, basically, where we live. And, and I have a small daughter, she's 4, and that's why we are leaving. I think it's better. It's too much. Just too much.
How do you feel about the protest, though, and all these world leaders coming to your city?
I think protest is good as long as it's peaceful. And I would also go probably if I wouldn't have a child. But I see it a bit critical at the moment. They are very. There are people coming like Trump, Erdogan and Putin, and I think they will probably block everything, And that's,
So that's your take on it. Carla, also living in the same city, close to that camp, I believe, that was dismantled by police. What are you feeling as you look at the days that will be ahead?
I actually work close to that camp. I talked to the guys there today, and I live very close to the summit area, like right next to it. And while I can totally understand what Nina is saying, like if I would have a small child, maybe I would consider like leaving Hamburg as well. But for me, I will stay in my apartment, and like I said, I talked to the guys at the park today. And what they were their protest is important. After all, like these G20, like they present 80% of the economic output of the world, and so they have a big interest in leaving the world as it is and not sharing the wealth with the poorer countries. So protesting against that is important, and
I think that is definitely one of the issues that will come up. I think there's quite a bit about climate change as well, among some of the other issues, which we'll get into during the week on OS. But I was reading a little bit about some of the procedures that have been put in place. 15,000 police officers, miles of barbed wire, restrictions on public assemblies, and also ID cards for local residents. Have you come across that, Carla or Nina?
No. I have only my normal ID card on which my address is written, and I've talked to the police, like they are present in my area since it's really like very close to the summit since 2 or 3 months now, so continuously present. And I have not had problems with them, but they have not issued an ID card, and I don't think they will. For me.
I emailed some friends that live in Hamburg to see what the situation was, and they said that most people they know are actually leaving. It looks like you're doing that as well, Nina. Is that what people are telling you? I mean, this does happen when there's a big event sometimes.
Yeah, I know also people who are going because of the same reasons like me. They have children. And lots of people, they ask themselves basically, why in Hamburg? This is the big question also. Because it's obvious that there will be a big fight coming here, yeah?
You really feel that?
Yeah, I can feel it. And the police yesterday, they were hitting this camp. And as far as I know, the people on the camp, they were allowed to stay there. And the police just hid them away, basically. And I think it's not a good strategy. To keep people calm or something, or I think it's more like that people get really, these people who really want to have a fight, they will maybe get even more aggressive.
We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I want to thank both of you. Perhaps we'll speak to you a little bit later in the week as well. That's Carla and Nina, both of them speaking to us from their city, Hamburg, where the G20 summit will be held later this week. One of the most read stories on the BBC website right now is about girls as young as 9 requesting surgery on their vaginas. Now, this was an issue that came to light following an investigation by the Victoria Derbyshire programme. There is a discussion to come about the female anatomy in the following report. Some details that you may find a little graphic, or you may be sensitive to it. Let me bring you first some of the voices that were brought together in this report.
I guess I just picked up from somewhere that like it wasn't neat enough or like tidy enough, and I think I wanted it to be smaller.
Doctors have told us they're seeing more girls upset with how their genitals look.
So I'm seeing young girls of around 11, 12, 13 thinking there's something wrong with their vulva. That there's the wrong shape, the wrong size, and really expressing almost disgust.
And more often than not, they're after cosmetic surgery to change them.
Girls will sometimes come out with comments like, well, I just hate it, I just want it removed, I just want it treated. And for a girl to feel that way about any part of her body, let alone a part that's intimate, is really upsetting.
So the reporter on this story is Jean Mackenzie. She spoke to Anna.
I think when I was about like 13, 14, I started to wonder like why it wasn't symmetrical. I guess I just picked up from somewhere that like it wasn't neat enough or like tidy enough, and I think I wanted it to be smaller. Sometimes people around me were watching porn and stuff, and I just had this idea that it should be symmetrical and like not sticking out. I guess I just thought that's what everyone else looked like, because I hadn't really seen any like normal everyday areas like that before then. I remember looking back through magazines and things like that, and I remember seeing that as one of the options and being like, oh, okay, so if there's surgery options for it, then clearly like I'm not the only one who wants this done. And it was like, maybe it won't be that big of a deal. Like just snip one side so they look the same, so they look symmetrical, there'll be loads of painkillers, it'll be fine.
I asked Jean Mackenzie, the reporter on this investigation, whether people found it shocking that teenagers so young should even be considering this.
And I think that's what the adolescent gynecologists that we spoke to all echoed, that actually hearing these girls with such views about their own bodies and this really private part of their body was actually very upsetting. The medical experts we spoke to were upset about this. It's not nice then to have to see girls who feel this way about their bodies.
She decided in the end not to, so she's speaking to you from a place, I suppose, that a number of years have passed. But when I thought about her or other girls that you were speaking to, I wondered, like, how did they end up in the doctor's office? Did they speak to their parents?
It's a bit of a mix, really. I get the impression some were coming by themselves. It's something that they've maybe been sitting on for a couple of years, alone in their bedroom, worried, and finally worked up the confidence to go to a GP and to seek help. Others were being brought by their parents. I heard some stories from the gynecologists we spoke to who the children are brought by their parents, and the parents say, well, they don't look like me, so I thought there must be something wrong with them. And I think they're the instances where our experts were really quite worried, because when you have a parent that's almost validating this insecurity, it can make it so much more harder to unpick.
But then I suppose the medical professionals, would they, for the main part, say absolutely not, everything is fine?
I mean, certainly the ones that we spoke to, these adolescent gynecologists, so these are specialist gynecologists who GPs refer to give the sort of expert opinion in the hope that they can talk these girls around. And the ones that we spoke to, of course, are saying, examining them, you are healthy, you are normal, you do not need this surgery, and hoping